Okay, picture this. You know that feeling when you hit 5 p.m. on a Friday and you are just completely drained, like you've just run a mental marathon? But then you look back at your week and realize, wait, I didn't actually move any of my big goals forward. Sound familiar? Trust me, you are definitely not alone in that. Today, we're diving into something I call the strategy of vitality. We're going to break down exactly why so many highly capable, brilliant professionals eventually just hit a wall, and more importantly, how you can build a resilient, deeply focused path forward.
I really want this reality check to just sink in for a second. Read that quote. We are exhausted not because we're building too much, but because we are reacting to too much. So many of us are moving through our entire careers emotionally overcommitted. I mean, we spend our entire week just putting out fires instead of actually laying bricks, right? We're constantly responding to everyone else's urgencies, while our own deep, meaningful work just sits there untouched.
Right, so let's dive into the first point here, the constant reactivity trap. Think about your typical Tuesday morning. You sit down with your coffee, you're pumped, ready to tackle a major project, and bam! Immediately, you're hit with a Slack notification avalanche. Then it's an urgent, but let's be real, ultimately unimportant email. Then a sudden pivot from leadership. Your entire morning just becomes completely fragmented. And the hidden cost here, it isn't just lost time, it is lost momentum. In today's world, focus is literally your modern superpower, and living in this constant state of reaction just completely strips you of it.
Moving to point 2, fixing this requires a massive paradigm shift. We're talking energy over time management. People absolutely obsess over their calendars, color-coded schedules, the absolute latest productivity apps. But here is a profound truth for you. Time management systems will eventually collapse if you aren't managing the actual currency of your output. And that currency is your energy. Two professionals can have the exact same number of hours in a day and produce entirely different outcomes. Why? Because the quality of your energy absolutely dictates the quality of your work.
So what does this currency actually buy you? Well, your energy determines literally everything that matters for professional growth. It fuels your focus, your creativity, your emotional resilience, your decision-making quality, and your actual capacity to execute consistently. Think about how true this is in your own life. When this internal resource is drained, even drafting a simple 3-line email feels like trying to lift a boulder, right? But when your energy is protected and it's high, you're adaptable, you're resilient. You actually have the bandwidth to lead other people through total uncertainty.
Look at the contrast here, reactive living versus focused living. The crucial question is, which camp are you falling into right now? Reactive living keeps you constantly busy, always responding to noise, and it rapidly consumes your energy. Focused living, on the other hand, means you're moving forward with clear internal direction, and that actually compounds your energy. So I want you to ask yourself right now and be completely honest. Are you just staying busy, or are you actually moving forward?
All right, point 3, plugging your emotional leaks. To move from that state of exhausting chaos into a calm, structural focus, we have to talk about plugging those leaks. And listen, not all energy loss is a massive, dramatic event. Usually, our most valuable currency is quietly draining away through these tiny, unnoticed holes in our daily routine. Without even realizing it, we give unlimited emotional access to environments, meetings, and people that just repeatedly deplete us. Which brings us to a really critical and honestly kind of scary number, 66. This perfectly highlights the compounding, long-term cost of ignoring these leaks day after day. Because individually, right, a small frustration or a mildly tense interaction, it seems totally manageable, no big deal. But collectively, over 66 days, or through 66 separate interactions, these become massive emotional leaks. They significantly weaken your focus and completely steal your professional drive.
So what do these leaks actually look like in the real world? Well, it's those endless circular arguments you get dragged into at the office or online. It's the constant daily exposure to a team's unchecked negativity. It's burning yourself out trying to convince people who have, frankly, already decided not to understand you. Or maybe it's just carrying emotional tension from unresolved dynamics day in and day out. Letting your energy flow into these depleting environments, it severely weakens you. It actively strips you of your power.
This leads us to our fourth insight: boundaries are a strategy. Let's totally rethink boundaries for a second. So often, we treat them as emotional reactions, right? Like this defensive wall we aggressively throw up only when we're already mad or entirely overwhelmed. But in reality, true boundaries are proactive. They are strategic maintenance for your long-term growth. They protect your peace, your focus, and your momentum.
Because think about it. If everything gets access to your attention, nothing receives your depth. And depth is where true mastery lives. Winning every battle is impossible. I want to step into coach mode for a second and speak directly to you on this one. There is a massive difference between being right and being effective. Attempting to win every single debate, responding to every perceived slight, fighting every minor battle in your organization, it absolutely destroys your forward momentum. Mature leadership, real professional growth often looks like selective engagement. It's not avoidance, it is discernment. Actively choosing where your energy goes is the ultimate form of professional self-respect.
Okay, number 5. True rest versus escape. Now, protecting your energy requires knowing how to actually restore it, which brings us to this crucial distinction. For a high achiever, rest isn't about just slacking off or avoiding your responsibilities. It's about intentional restoration. The whole point is so you can step back into the arena tomorrow with absolute clarity and renewed strength.
We do this all the time, right? We confuse escape with actual rest. Escapes just distract you. It's that endless doom scrolling on the couch at 9 p.m. It numbs your stress for a brief moment, sure, but ultimately leaves you even more depleted when you wake up. It's false relief. True rest actually restores you. We're talking deep, quality sleep, quiet solitude, intentional reflection, even creating something just for the sake of creating instead of just consuming content. Energy only grows where restoration is intentional. You have got to build these quiet practices into your routine if you want to sustain long-term performance. And now, point number 6, the enablement shift. Here is where this whole concept transcends just your own career. Because when you finally master your own energy, your focus naturally shifts from self-preservation to collective empowerment. Reclaimed energy literally changes the dynamic of an entire team. When you show up grounded, focused, and purposeful, you create this incredible ripple effect that stabilizes and elevates literally everyone around you.
So how do we actually operationalize this whole thing? Here is your roadmap to protect that focus. First, audit your environments. What is consistently draining you? Second, reduce unnecessary conflict. Third, fiercely protect your deep work time because attention fragmentation destroys your output. Fourth, choose your relationships intentionally. And finally, create those intentional recovery rituals we talked about. Conscious energy management isn't selfish at all. It is the absolute ultimate form of professional discipline because it's the only way you ensure you actually have something valuable to give to others.
Because at the end of the day, focused energy creates real leverage. And energy transfer, that is very real. When leaders stop wasting themselves on the noise, on endless debates, and on office politics that just do not matter, their stabilized energy transfers directly to their teams. You become an anchor in these fast-changing, chaotic environments. You build deep, unshakable trust, and you finally have the energetic capacity to mentor, to really listen, and to truly guide the people looking up to you.
Professional evolution is never a solo journey. Once you learn to protect your energy, you have a responsibility to use it to elevate the people around you. Because growth isn't just how far you go, it's how many you take with you. So, who are you enabling today?